in Hebron, promise of Isaac's birth repeated, the destruction of Sodom, and Lot's deliverance. And on the new moon of the 4th month, we appeared unto Abraham at the oak of Mamre, and we talked with him, and we announced to him that a son would be given to him by Sarah his wife. And Sarah laughed, for she heard that we'd spoken these words with Abraham. And we admonished her, and she became afraid, and denied that she had laughed on account of the words. And we told her the name of her son, as his name is ordained and written in the heavenly tables, Isaac. And that when we returned to her at a set time, she would have conceived a son. And in this month the Lord executed his judgments on Sodom and Gomorrah and Zeboim and all the region of the Jordan. And he burned them with fire and brimstone, and destroyed them until this day, even as lo, I have declared unto thee all their works, that they are wicked and sinners exceedingly, and that they defile themselves, and commit fornication in their flesh, and work uncleanness on the earth. And in like manner, God will execute judgment on the places where they have done according to the uncleanness of the Sodomites, like unto the judgment of Sodom. But Lot we saved, for God remembered Abraham, and sent him out from the midst of the overthrow. And he and his daughters committed sin upon the earth, such as had not been on the earth since the days of Adam till this time. For the man lay with his daughters. And behold, it was commanded and engraven concerning all his seed on the heavenly tables, to remove them and root them out, and to execute judgment upon them, like the judgment of Sodom, and to leave no seed of the man on earth on the day of condemnation. Abraham at Beersheba, birth and circumcision of Isaac, institution of the feast of the tabernacles. And in this month Abraham moved from Hebron, and departed and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur in the mountains of Gerar. And in the middle of the 5th month he moved from thence, and dwelt at the well of the oath. And in the middle of the 6th month the Lord visited Sarah, and did unto her as he had spoken, and she conceived. And she bare a son in the 3rd month. And in the middle of the month, at the time of which the Lord had spoken to Abraham, on the festival of the first fruits of the harvest, Isaac was born. And Abraham circumcised his son on the 8th day. He was the first that was circumcised according to the covenant which is ordained forever. And in the 6th year of the 4th week, we came to Abraham, to the well of the oath. And we appeared unto him, and we blessed him, and we announced to him all the things which had been decreed concerning him, that he should not die, till he should beget 6 sons more, and should see them before he died, but that in Isaac should his name and seed be called, and that all the seed of his sons should be Gentiles, and be reckoned with the Gentiles. But from the sons of Isaac one should become a holy seed, and should not be reckoned among the Gentiles, for he should become the portion of the Most High. And all his seed had fallen into the possession of God, that it should be unto the Lord a people for his possession above all nations, and that it should become a kingdom and priests and a holy nation. And we went our way, and we announced to Sarah all that we had told him, and they both rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And he built there an altar to the Lord who had delivered him, and who was making him rejoice in the land of his sojourning. And he celebrated a festival of joy in this month 7 days, near the altar which he had built at the well of the oath. And he built booths for himself and for his servants on this festival, and he was the first to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles on the earth. And during these 7 days he brought each day to the altar a burnt offering to the Lord, 2 oxen, 2 rams, 7 sheep, 1 he-goat, for a sin offering, that he might atone thereby for himself and for his seed. And as a thank offering, 7 rams, 7 kids, 7 sheep, and 7 he-goats, and their fruit offerings and their drink offerings. And he burned all the fat thereof on the altar, a chosen offering unto the Lord for a sweet-smelling savour. And morning and evening he burnt fragrant substances, frankincense and galbanum and stacte, and nard and myrrh and spice and costum. All these 7 he offered, crushed, mixed together in equal parts, and pure. And he celebrated this feast during 7 days, rejoicing with all his heart and with all his soul, he and all those who were in his house, and there was no stranger with him, nor any that was uncircumcised. And he blessed his Creator, who had created him in his generation, for he had created him according to his good pleasure. For he knew and perceived that from him would arise the plant of righteousness for the eternal generations, and from him a holy seed, so that it should become like him who had made all things. And he blessed and rejoiced, and he called the name of this festival the festival of the Lord, a joy acceptable to the Most High God. And we blessed him forever, and all his seed after him throughout all the generations of the earth, because he celebrated this festival in its season, according to the testimony of the heavenly tables. For this reason it is ordained on the heavenly tables concerning Israel that they shall celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days with joy in the 7th month, acceptable before the Lord, a statute forever throughout their generations, every year. And to this there is no limit of days, for it is ordained forever regarding Israel that they should celebrate it and dwell in booths and set wreaths upon their heads and take leafy boughs and willows from the brook. And Abraham took branches of palm trees and the fruit of goodly trees, and every day going round the altar with the branches 7 times a day in the morning, he praised and gave thanks to his God for all things in joy. The expulsion of Hagar and Ishmael. And in the 1st year of the 5th week, Isaac was weaned in this jubilee. And Abraham made a great banquet in the 3rd month on the day his son Isaac was weaned. And Ishmael, the son of Hagar the Egyptian, was before the face of Abraham his father in his place. And Abraham rejoiced and blessed God, because he had seen his sons and had not died childless. And he remembered the words which he had spoken to him on the day on which Lot had parted from him. And he rejoiced, because the Lord had given him seed upon the earth to inherit the earth. And he blessed with all his mouth the Creator of all things. And Sarah saw Ishmael playing and dancing with Abraham, rejoicing with great joy. And she became jealous of Ishmael and said to Abraham, "Cast out this bondwoman and her son." For the son of this bondwoman will not be heir with my son Isaac. Because of his maidservant, and said to Abraham, "Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the child, and because of the bondwoman. In all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken to her words, and do them be called. because morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and placed them on the shoulders of Hagar, and the child wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water in the bottle was spent, and the child thirsted, was not able to go on, and fell down. And his mother took him, and cast him under an olive tree, and went and sat her down over against him, and see the death of my child. And as she sat, she wept. And an angel of God, one of the holy ones, said unto her, Why weepest thou, Hagar? Arise, take the child, and hold him in thine hand, for God hath heard thy voice, and hath seen the child. And she opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled her bottle with water, and gave her child to drink. And she arose, and went towards the wilderness of Paran. And the child grew, and became an archer, and God was with him. And his mother took him a wife from among the daughters of Egypt. And she bare him a son, and he called his name Nebaioth, for she said, The Lord was nigh to me when I called upon him. Mastema proposes to God that Abraham shall be put to the proof. And it came to pass in the 7th week, in the 1st year thereof, in the 1st month, in this Jubilee, on the 12th of this month, there were voices in heaven regarding Abraham, that he was faithful in all that he told him, and that he loved the Lord, and that in every affliction he was faithful. And the prince Mastema came and said before God, Behold, Abraham loveth Isaac his son, and he delighteth in him above all things else. Bid him offer him as a burnt offering on the altar, and thou wilt see if he will do this command, and thou wilt know if he is faithful in everything wherein thou dost try him. And the Lord knew that Abraham was faithful in all his afflictions, for he had tried him through his country, and with famine, and had tried him with the wealth of kings, and had tried him again through his wife, when she was torn from him, and with circumcision, and had tried him through Ishmael and Hagar his maidservant, when he sent them away. And in everything wherein he had tried him, he was found faithful, and his soul was not impatient, and he was not slow to act, for he was faithful and a lover of the Lord. The sacrifice of Isaac. Abraham returns to Beersheba. And God said to him, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here am I. And he said, Take thy beloved son, whom thou lovest, even Isaac, and go unto the high country, and offer him on one of the mountains which I will point out unto thee. And he rose early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took his 2 young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood of the burnt offering. And he went to the place on the 3rd day, and he saw the place afar off. And he came to a well of water, and he said to his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad shall go yonder. And when we have worshipped, we shall come again to you, his son. And he took in his hand the fire and the knife, and they went both of them together to that place. And Isaac said to his father, Father? And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said unto him, Behold the fire and the knife and the wood, but where is the sheep for the burnt offering, father? And he said, God will provide for himself a sheep for the burnt offering, my son. And he drew near to the place of the mount of God. And he built an altar, and he placed the wood on the altar, and bound Isaac his son, and placed him on the wood which was upon the altar, and stretched forth his hand to take the knife to slay Isaac his son. And I stood before him, and before the prince of the Mastema. And the Lord said, Bid him not to lay his hand on the lad, nor to do anything to him. For I have shown that he feareth the Lord. And I called to him from heaven, and said unto him, Abraham, Abraham. And he was terrified, and said, Behold, here am I. And I said unto him, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything to him. For now I have shown that thou fearest the Lord, and hast not withheld thy son. And the prince of the Mastemah was put to shame. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, caught by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered it for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called that place, The Lord hath seen, so that it is said, In the mount the Lord hath seen. That is Mount Sion. And the Lord called Abraham by his name a second time from heaven, as he caused us to appear to speak to him. Self have I sworn, saith the Lord, because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy beloved son, from me, that in blessing I shall bless thee, and in multiplying I shall multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And thy seed will inherit the cities of its enemies. And in thy seed will all nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. And I have shown to all that thou art faithful unto me in all that I have said unto thee. Go in peace. And Abraham went to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt by the well of the oath. And he celebrated this festival every year, 7 days with joy. And he called it the festival of the Lord, according to the 7 days during which he went and returned in peace. And accordingly hath it been ordained and written on the heavenly tables regarding Israel and its seed, that they should observe this festival 7 days with the joy of festival. The death and burial of Sarah. And in the first year of the first week, in the 42nd Jubilee, Abraham returned and dwelt opposite Hebron, that is Kirjath Arba, 2 weeks of years. And in the first year of the 3rd week of this Jubilee, the days of the life of Sarah were accomplished, and she died in Hebron. And Abraham went to mourn over her. Spirit were patient, and if he were not indignant in the words of his mouth, and he was found patient in this, and was not disturbed, to the intent that they should give him grace before all who saw him. And he besought in a double cave over against Mamre, that is Hebron, for 400 pieces of silver. And they besought him, saying, We shall give it to thee for nothing. But he would not take it from their hands for nothing, for he gave the price of the place, the money, in full. And he bowed down before them twice. And after this he buried his dead in the double cave. And all the days of the life of Sarah were 127 years, that is, 2 jubilees and 4 weeks and 1 year. These are the days of the years of the life of Sarah. This is the 10th trial wherewith Abraham was tried. And he was found faithful, patient in spirit. And he said not a single word regarding the rumor in the land, how that God had said that he would give it to him and to his seed after him. And he begged a place there to bury his dead, for he was found faithful, and was recorded on the heavenly tables as the friend of God. Marriage of Isaac and second marriage of Abraham. The birth of Esau and Jacob. And in the 4th year thereof he took a wife for his son Isaac, and her name was Rebekah, the sister of Laban, the daughter of Bethuel, and Bethuel was the daughter of Milcah, who was the wife of Nahor, the brother of Abraham. And Abraham took to himself a 3rd wife, and her name was Keturah, from among the daughters of his household servants, for Hagar had died before Sarah. And she bare him 6 sons, Zimram, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua, in the 2 weeks of years. And in the 6th week, in the 2nd year thereof, Rebekah bare to Isaac 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. And Jacob was a smooth and upright man, and Esau was fierce, a man of the field and hairy, and Jacob dwelt in tents. And the youths grew, and Jacob learned to write, but Esau did not learn, for he was a man of the field and a hunter, and he learnt war, and all his deeds were fierce. Abraham loves Jacob and blesses him. And Abraham loved Jacob, but Isaac loved Esau. And Abraham saw the deeds of Esau, and he knew that in Jacob should his name and seed be called. And he called Rebekah and gave commandment regarding Jacob, for he knew that she too loved Jacob much more than Esau. And he said unto her, My daughter, watch over my son Jacob, for he shall be in my stead on the earth, and for a blessing in the midst of the children of men, and for the glory of the whole seed of Shem. For I know that the Lord will choose him to be a people for possession unto himself above all peoples that are upon the face of the earth. And behold, Isaac my son loveth Esau more than Jacob. But I see that thou truly lovest Jacob, and add still further to thy kindness to him, and let thine eyes be upon him in love. For he will be a blessing unto us on the earth from henceforth unto all generations of the earth. Let thy hands be strong, and let thy heart rejoice in thy son Jacob, for I have loved him far beyond all my sons. He will be blessed forever, and his seed will fill the whole earth. If a man can number the sand of the earth, his seed also will be numbered. And all the blessings wherewith the Lord hath blessed me and my seed shall belong to Jacob and his seed alway. And in his seed shall my name be blessed, and the name of my fathers, Shem and Noah and Enoch and Mahalalel and Enos and Seth and Adam. And these shall serve to lay the foundations of the heaven, and to strengthen the earth, and to renew all the luminaries which are in the firmament. And he called Jacob before the eyes of Rebekah his mother, and kissed him, and blessed him, and said, Jacob, my beloved son, whom my soul loveth. May God bless thee from above the firmament, and may he give thee all the blessings wherewith he blessed Adam, and Enoch, and Noah, and Shem, and all the things of which he told me, and all the things which he promised to give me. May he cause to cleave to thee and to thy seed forever, according to the days of heaven above the earth. And the spirits of Mastema shall not rule over thee, or over thy seed to turn thee from the Lord, who is thy God, from henceforth forever. And may the Lord God be a father to thee, and thou the firstborn son, and to the people alway. Go in peace, my son. And they both went forth together from Abraham. And Rebekah loved Jacob with all her heart and with all her soul, very much more than Esau. But Isaac loved Esau much more than Jacob. Abraham's last words to his children and grandchildren. And in the 42nd Jubilee, in the first year of the 7th week, Abraham called Ishmael and his 12 sons, and Isaac and his 2 sons, and the 6 sons of Keturah and their sons. And he commanded them that they should observe the way of the Lord, that they should work righteousness, and love each his neighbor, and act on this manner amongst all men, that they should each so walk with regard to them as to do judgment and righteousness on the earth, that they should circumcise their sons according to the covenant which he had made with them, and not deviate to the right hand or to the left of all the paths which the Lord had commanded us, and that we should keep ourselves from all fornication and uncleanness. And if any woman or maid commit fornication amongst you, burn her with fire, and let them not commit fornication with her after their eyes and their heart, and let them not take to themselves wives from the daughters of Canaan, for the seed of Canaan will be rooted out of the land. And he told them of the judgment of the giants, and the judgment of the Sodomites, how they had been judged on account of their wickedness, and had died on account of their fornication and uncleanness and mutual corruption through fornication. And guard yourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and from all pollution of sin, lest ye make our name a curse, and your whole life a hissing, and all your sons be destroyed by the sword, and ye become accursed like Sodom, and all your remnant as the sons of Gomorrah. I implore you, my sons, love the God of heaven, and cleave ye to all his commandments, and walk not after their idols and after their uncleannesses, and make not for yourselves molten or graven gods, for they are vanity, and there is no spirit in them, for they are work of men's hands, and all who trust in them trust in nothing. Serve them not, nor worship them, but serve ye the Most High God, and worship him continually, and hope for his countenance always, and work uprightness and righteousness before him, that he may have pleasure in you, and grant you his mercy, and send rain upon you morning and evening, and bless all your works which ye have wrought upon the earth, and bless thy bread and thy water, and bless the fruit of thy womb, and the fruit of thy land, and the herds of thy cattle, and the flocks of thy sheep. And ye will be for a blessing on the earth, and all nations of the earth will desire you, and blessed as I am. And to his sons, and to the sons of Keturah, gifts. And he sent them away from Isaac his son, and he gave everything to Isaac his son of Keturah. And Ishmael and his sons and the sons of Keturah and their sons went together and dwelt from Paran to the east, facing the desert. And these mingled with each other, and their name was called Arabs and Ishmaelites. Abraham's last words to Isaac. And in the 6th year of the 7th week of his son, and commanded him, saying, I am become old, and am full of my days. And behold, I am 175 years old, and throughout all the days of my life I have remembered the Lord, and sought with all his ways. My soul hath hated idols, and I have despised those that serve them. And I have given my heart and spirit that I might observe to do the will of him who created me. For he is the living God, and he is holy and faithful, and he is righteous beyond all, and there is with him no accepting of men's persons and no accepting of gifts. For God is righteous, and executeth judgment on all those who transgress his commandments and despise his covenant. And do thou, my son, observe his commandments and his ordinances and his judgments, and walk not after the abominations and after the graven images, and after the molten images, and eat no blood at all of animals or cattle, or of any bird which flieth in the heaven. And if thou dost slay a victim as an acceptable peace offering, slay ye it, and pour out its blood upon the altar, and all the fat of the offering offer on the altar with fine flour, and the meat offering mingled with oil with its drink offering. Offer them all together on the altar of burnt offering, for it is a sweet savour before the Lord. And thou wilt offer the fat of the sacrifice of thanks offerings on the fire which is upon the altar, and the fat which is on the belly, and all the fat on the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and all the fat that is upon them, and upon the loins and the liver thou shalt remove together with the kidneys, and offer all these for a sweet savour acceptable before the Lord, with its meat offering and with its of the offering unto the Lord. And eat its meat on the 2nd day, go down upon it till it is eaten, and let nothing be left over for the 3rd day, for it is not acceptable, no longer be eaten. And all who eat thereof will bring sin upon themselves. For thus I have found it written in the books of my forefathers, and in the words of Galatians thou shalt sing in all thy oblations. Beware lest thou bring Dephran, Sagad, pine, fir, seal, and of these kinds of wood lay upon the altar under the sacrifice, such as have been tested as to their appearance. And do not lay thereon any split or dark wood, but hard and clean, without fault, a sound and new growth. And do not lay thereon old wood, for its fragrance is gone, for there is no longer fragrance in it as before. Besides these kinds of wood, there is none other that thou shalt place on the altar, for the fragrance is dispersed, and the smell of its fragrance goeth not up to heaven. Observe this commandment, and do it, my son, that thou mayest be upright in all thy deeds. And at all times be clean in thy body, and wash thyself with water before thou approachest to offer on the altar. And wash thy hands and thy feet before thou drawest near to the altar. And when thou art done sacrificing, wash again thy hands and thy feet. And let no blood appear upon you, nor upon your clothes. Be on guard, my son, against blood. Be on guard exceedingly. Cover it with dust, and do not eat any blood, for it is the soul. Eat no blood whatever. And take no gifts for the blood of man, lest it be shed with impunity, without judgment. For it is the blood that is shed that causeth the earth to sin. And the earth cannot be cleansed from the blood of man, save by the blood of him who shed it. And take no present or gift for the blood of man. Blood for blood, that thou mayest be accepted before the Lord the Most High God. For he is the defense of the good, and that thou mayest be preserved from all evil, and that he may save thee from every kind of death. I see, my son, that all the works of the children of men are sin and wickedness, and all their deeds are uncleanness and an abomination and a pollution, and there is no righteousness with them. Beware, lest thou shouldest walk in their ways and tread in their paths, and sin a sin unto death, before the Most High God, else he will hide his face from thee, and give thee back into the hands of thy transgression, and root thee out of the land, and thy seed likewise from under heaven, and thy name and thy seed will perish from the whole earth. Turn away from all their deeds and all their uncleanness, and observe the ordinance of the Most High God, and do his will, and be upright in all things. And he will bless thee in all thy deeds, and will raise up from thee the plant of righteousness through all the earth, throughout all generations of the earth. And my name and thy name will not be forgotten under heaven forever. Go, my son, in peace. May the Most High God, my God, and thy God, strengthen thee to do his will. And may he bless all thy seed and the residue of thy seed for the generations forever, with all righteous blessings, that thou mayest be a blessing on all the earth. And he went out from him, rejoicing. Isaac, Ishmael, and Jacob join in festival with Abraham for the last time. Abraham's prayer. And it came to pass, in the first week in the 44th Jubilee in the second year, that is, the year in which Abraham died, that Isaac and Ishmael came from the well of the oath to celebrate the Feast of Weeks, that is, the feast of the first fruits of the harvest, to Abraham their father. And Abraham rejoiced, because his 2 sons had come. For Isaac had many possessions in Beersheba, and Isaac was wont to go and see his possessions, and to return to his father. And in those days Ishmael came to see his father, and they both came together. And Isaac offered a sacrifice for a burnt offering, and presented it on the altar of his father, which he had made in Hebron. And he offered a thank offering, and made a feast of joy before Ishmael his brother. And Rebekah made new cakes from the new grain, and gave them to Jacob her son, to take them to Abraham his father from the first fruits of the land, that he might eat and bless the Creator of all things before he died. And Isaac too sent by the hand of Jacob to Abraham a best thank offering, that he might eat and drink. And he ate and drank, and blessed the Most High God, who hath created heaven and earth, who made all the fat things of the earth, and given them to the children of men, that they might eat and drink and bless their Creator. And now I give thanks unto thee, my God, because thou hast caused me to see this day. Behold, I am 163 years, an old man and full of days, and all my days have been unto me peace. The sword of the adversary hath not overcome me in all that thou hast given me and my children all the days of my life until this day. My God, may thy mercy and thy peace be upon thy servant, and upon the seed of his sons, that they may be to thee a chosen nation, and an inheritance from amongst all the nations of the earth, from henceforth unto all the days of the generations of the earth, unto all ages. Abraham's last words to and blessings of Jacob. And he called Jacob and said, My son Jacob, may the God of all bless thee and strengthen thee to do righteousness and his will before him. And may he choose thee and thy seed, that ye may become a people for his inheritance, according to his will always. And do thou, my son Jacob, draw near and kiss me. And he drew near and kissed him, and he said, Blessed be my son Jacob, and all the sons of God Most High unto all the ages. May God give unto thee a seed of righteousness, and some of thy sons may he sanctify in the midst of the whole earth. May nations serve thee, and all the nations bow themselves before thy seed. Be strong in the presence of men, and exercise authority over all the seed of Seth. Then thy ways and the ways of thy sons will be justified, so that they shall become a holy nation. May the Most High God give thee all the blessings wherewith he hath blessed me, and wherewith he blessed Noah and Adam. May they rest on the sacred head of thy seed from generation to generation forever. And may he cleanse thee from all unrighteousness and impurity, that thou mayest be, and may he strengthen thee and bless thee, and mayest thou inherit the whole earth. And may he renew his covenant with thee, that thou mayest be to him a nation for his inheritance for all the ages, and that he may be to thee and to thy seed a God in truth and righteousness throughout all the days of the earth. And do thou, my son Jacob, remember my words, and observe the commandments of Abraham thy father. Separate thyself from the nations, and eat not with them, and do not according to their works, and become not their associate. For their works are unclean, and all their ways are a pollution and an abomination and uncleanness. They offer their sacrifices to the dead, and they worship evil spirits, and they eat over the graves, and all their works are vanity and nothingness. They have no heart to understand, and their eyes do not see what their works are. Thou art my God, and to a stone thou art my Lord, and thou art my deliverer. And as for thee, my son Jacob, may the Most High God help thee, and may the God of heaven bless thee, and remove from all their error. Be thou ware, my son Jacob, of taking a wife from any seed of the daughters of Canaan, for all his seed is to be rooted out of the earth. For, owing to the transgression of Ham, Canaan erred, and all his seed will be destroyed from off the earth, and all the residue thereof, and none springing from him will be saved on the day of judgment. And as for all the worshippers of Isaac, hope for them in the land of the living, and there be no remembrance of them on the earth. For they will descend into Sheol, and into the place of condemnation will they go. As the children of Sodom were taken away from the earth, so will all those who worship. Fear not, my son Jacob, and be not dismayed, O son of Abraham. May the Most High God preserve thee from destruction, and from all the paths of error may he deliver thee. This house have I built for myself, that I might put my name upon it in the earth. It is given to thee and to thy seed forever, and will be named the house of Abraham. It is given to thee and to thy seed forever, for thou wilt build my houses and establish my name before God forever. Thy seed and thy name will stand throughout all generations of the earth. And he ceased commanding him and blessing him. And the two lay together, Abraham, his father's father, and he kissed him 7 times, and his affection and his heart rejoiced over him. And he blessed him with all his heart, and said, The Most High God, the God of all, and the Creator of all, who brought me forth from Ur of the Chaldees, that he might give me this land to inherit it forever, and that I might establish a holy seed. Blessed be the Most High forever. And he blessed Jacob and said, My son, over whom with all my heart and my affection I rejoice. May thy grace and thy mercy be lifted up upon him and upon his seed alway. And do not forsake him, nor set him at naught from henceforth unto the days of eternity. And may thine eyes be opened upon him and upon his seed, that thou mayest preserve him and bless him, and mayest sanctify him as a nation for thine inheritance. And bless him with all thy blessings from henceforth unto all the days of eternity. And renew thy covenant and thy grace with him and with his seed, according to all thy good pleasure, unto all the generations of the earth. The death and burial of Abraham. And he placed 2 fingers of Jacob on his eyes, and he blessed the God of gods, and he covered his face, slept the sleep of eternity, and was gathered to his fathers. And notwithstanding all this, Jacob was lying in his bosom, and knew not that Abraham his father's father was dead. And Jacob awoke from his sleep, and behold, Abraham was cold as ice. And he said, Father, Father. And there was none that spake, and he knew that he was dead. And he arose from his bosom, and ran and told Rebekah his mother. And Rebekah went to Isaac in the night, and told him, and they went together, and Jacob with them, and a lamp was in his hand. And when they'd gone in, they found Abraham lying dead. And Isaac fell on the face of his father, and wept and kissed him. And the voices were heard in the house of Abraham. And Ishmael his son arose, and went to Abraham his father, and wept over Abraham his father, he and all the house of Abraham. And they wept with a great weeping. And his sons, Isaac and Ishmael, buried him in the double cave near Sarah his wife. And they wept for him 40 days, all the men of his house, and Isaac and Ishmael and all their sons, and all the sons of Keturah in their places. And the days of weeping for Abraham were ended. And he lived 3 jubilees and 4 weeks of years, 175 years, and completed the days of his life, being old and full of days. The decreasing years and increasing corruption of mankind. For the days of the forefathers of their life were 19 jubilees, and after the flood they began to grow less than 19 jubilees, and to decrease in jubilees, and to grow old quickly, and to be full of their days by reason of manifold tribulation and the wickedness of their ways, with the exception of Abraham. For Abraham was perfect in all his deeds with the Lord, and well-pleasing in righteousness all the days of his life. And behold, he did not complete 4 jubilees in his life when he had grown old by reason of the wickedness, and was full of his days. And all the generations which will arise from this time until the day of the great judgment will grow old quickly before they complete 2 jubilees. And their knowledge will forsake them by reason of their old age. And in those days, if a man live a jubilee and a half of years, they will say regarding him, he hath lived long, and the greater part of his days are pain and sorrow and tribulation, and there is no peace. For calamity followeth on calamity, and wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil tidings on evil tidings, and illness on illness, and all evil judgments such as these, one with another, illness and overthrow, and snow and frost, and ice and fever, and chills and torpor, and famine and death, and sword and captivity, and all kinds of calamities and pains. And all these will come on an evil generation, which transgresseth on the earth. And their works are uncleanness, and fornication, and pollution, and abominations. Then they will say, the days of the forefathers were many, even unto 1,000 years, and were good. But behold, the days of our life, if a man hath lived many, are 60 years and 10, and if he's strong, 80 years, and those evil. And there's no peace in the days of this evil generation. And in that generation the sons will convict their fathers and the elders of sin and unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, and the great wickednesses which they perpetrate, and concerning their forsaking the covenant which the Lord made between them and him, that they should observe and do all his commandments and his ordinances and all his laws, without departing either to the right hand or to the left. For all have done evil, and every mouth speaketh iniquity, and all their works are an uncleanness and an abomination, and all their ways are pollution, uncleanness, and destruction. The Messianic woes. Behold, the earth will be destroyed on account of all their works, and there will be no seed of the vine and no oil, for their works are altogether faithless, and they will all perish together, beasts and cattle and birds, and all the fish of the sea, on account of the children of men. And they will strive one with another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, and the lowly with the great, and the beggar with the prince, on account of the law and the covenant. For they have forgotten commandment, and covenant, and feasts, and months, and Sabbaths, and jubilees, and all judgments. And they will stand with bows and swords and war, to turn them back into the way. But they will not return until much blood hath been shed on the earth one by another. And those who have escaped will not return from their wickedness to the ways of righteousness, but they will all exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, that they may each take all that is his neighbor's. And they will name the great name, but not in truth and not in righteousness. And they will defile the Holy of Holies with their uncleanness and the corruption of their pollution. And a great punishment will befall the deeds of this generation from the Lord. And he will give them over to the sword, and to judgment, and to captivity, and to be plundered and devoured. And he will wake up against them the sinners of the Gentiles, who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who will respect the person of none, neither old nor young, nor anyone, for they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all the children of men. And they will use violence against Israel, and transgression against Jacob, and much blood will be shed upon the earth, and there will be none to gather, and none to bury. In those days they will cry aloud and call and pray that they may be saved from the hand of the sinners, the Gentiles, but none will be saved. And the heads of the children will be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks will appear old like a man of 100 years, and their stature will be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. Renewed study of the law, followed by a renewal of mankind, the Messianic kingdom, and the blessedness of the righteous. And in those days, the children will begin to study the laws, and to seek the commandments, and to return to the path of righteousness. And the days will begin to grow many, and increase amongst those children of men, till their days draw nigh to 1,000 years, and to a greater number of years than before was the number of the days. And there will be no old man, nor one who's not satisfied with his days, for all will be as children and youths. And all their days they will complete and live in peace and in joy. And there'll be no Satan, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days will be days of blessing and healing. And at that time the Lord will heal his servants, and they will rise up and see great peace, and drive out their adversaries, and the righteous will see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and will see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. And their bones will rest in the earth, and their spirits will have much joy. And they will know that it is the Lord who executeth judgment, and showeth mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And do thou, Moses, write down these words, for thus are they written, and they record them on the heavenly tables, for a testimony for the generations forever. Isaac at the well of vision. Esau sells his birthright. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that the Lord blessed Isaac his son. And he arose from Hebron and went and dwelt at the well of the vision in the first year of the 3rd week.
Ooh, we about to be done with this. We only got a little bit left, like 10, 15 minutes left of this one. So I definitely need y'all to look for me some more books. I'm going to be looking for me some books too. I'm definitely going to be doing some more commentary over here as well with the conspiracies. We're going to be going deep, and, down the rabbit hole and stuff like that. So we definitely will be doing that. I definitely need y'all to help me find some more books. Keep in mind, we're not done with the book of Jashper. This book is actually part 1. What we're listening to is the book is part 1. Then it's part 2. And that is 3 hours long as well. But I broke it down into part 1, part 2, part 3 of part 1 of the book of Jashper. But when we get into the next book, which is part 2 of the book of Jashper, it's going to be part 4 for us. Since we on part 3, it would be part 4, 5, and 6. Then once we're done with the book of Jashper, I need some more lost books. Why do I need to do a Be Set Alive this heat? And child, what you want me to do a Be Set Alive for? Because I hope you definitely don't think that I'm about to be doing that. I'm not doing no, I'm ready for the next part. I'm ready for the next part too, because I believe it gets a little deeper. But let me go ahead on and shut my mouth so we can finish the rest of. I thought you weren't talking to me, so you could respond. I'm not responding to anything this heat. There's no point in me responding. If you want my response, go look on my community wall this heat and you will get all the response that you need. That's all I'm giving. That's all you getting. Don't ask me to give no response because I'm not giving no response. It's not worth a response, boo. I'm focusing on other things. So it is what it is.
Week of this Jubilee, 7 years. And in the first year of the 4th week, a famine began in the land, besides the first famine, which had been in the days of Abraham. And Jacob sod lentil pottage. And Esau came from the field hungry, and he said to Jacob his brother, Give me of this red pottage. And Jacob said to him, Sell to me thy birthright, and I will give thee bread, and also some of this lentil pottage. And Esau said in his heart, I shall die. Of what profit to me is this birthright? And he said to Jacob, I give it to thee. And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him. And Jacob gave his brother Esau bread and pottage, and he ate till he was satisfied. And Esau despised his birthright. For this reason was Esau's name called Edom, on account of the red pottage which Jacob gave him for his birthright. And Jacob became the elder, and Esau was brought down from his dignity. Isaac's sojourn in Gerar, and dealings with Abimelech. And the famine was over the land. And Isaac departed to go down into Egypt in the 2nd year of this week, and went to the king of the Philistines, to Gerar, unto Abimelech. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said unto him, Go not down into Egypt. Dwell in the land that I shall tell thee of, and sojourn in this land. And I shall be with thee, and bless thee. For to thee and to thy seed shall I give all this land. And I shall establish my oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I shall multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and shall give unto thy seed all this land. And in thy seed will all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thy father obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, and my commandments, and my laws, and my ordinances, and my covenant. And now obey my voice, and dwell in this land. And he dwelt in Gerar 3 weeks of years. And Abimelech charged concerning that shall touch him, or aught that is his shall surely die. And Isaac waxed strong among the Philistines, and he got many possessions, oxen and sheep and camels and asses, and a great household. And he sowed in the land of the Philistines, and brought in 100-fold. And Isaac became exceedingly great, and the wells which the servants of Abraham had dug during the life of Abraham, the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. And Isaac departed thence in the 1st year of the 7th week, and sojourned in the valleys of Gerar. And they digged again the wells of water which the servants of Abraham his father had digged, and which the Philistines had closed after the death of Abraham his father. And he called their names as Abraham his father had named them. And the servants of Isaac dug a well in the valley, and found living water. And the shepherds of Gerar strove with the shepherds of Isaac, saying, The water is ours. And Isaac called the name of the well Perversity, because they had been perverse with us. And they dug a 2nd well, and they strove for that also, and he called its name Enmity. And he arose from thence, and they digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Room. And Isaac said, Now the Lord hath made room for us, and we have increased in the land. And he went up from thence to the well of the oath in the 1st year of the 1st week, in the 44th Jubilee. And the Lord appeared to him that night on the new moon of the 1st month, and said unto him, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and shall bless thee, and shall surely multiply thy seed as the sand of the earth, for the sake of Abraham my servant. And he built an altar there, which Abraham his father had first built, and he called upon the name of the Lord, and he offered sacrifice to the God of Abraham his father. And they digged a well, and they found living water. And the servants of Isaac digged another well, and did not find water. And they went and told Isaac that they had not found water. And Isaac said, I have sworn this day to the Philistines, and this thing hath been announced to us. And he called the name of that place the Well of the Oath, for there he had sworn to Abimelech, and Ahuzath his friend, and Phicol the prefect of his host. And Isaac knew that day that under constraint he had sworn to them to make peace with them. Isaac curses the Philistines. And Isaac on that day cursed the Philistines, and said, Cursed be the Philistines unto the day of wrath and indignation from the midst of all nations. May God make them a derision and a curse, and an object of wrath and indignation in the hands of the sinners the Gentiles, and in the hands of the Kittim. And whoever escapeth the sword of the enemy and the Kittim, may the righteous nation root out in judgment from under heaven. For they will be the enemies and foes of my children throughout their generations upon the earth. And no remnant will be left to them, nor one that will be saved on the day of the wrath of judgment. for destruction and rooting out and expulsion from the earth is the whole seed of the Philistines reserved. And there will no longer be left for these Caphtorim a name or a seed on the earth. For though he ascend unto heaven, thence will he be brought down. And though he make himself strong on earth, thence will he be dragged forth. And though he hide himself amongst the nations, even from thence will he be rooted out. And though he descend into Sheol, there also will his condemnation be great. And there also he will have no peace. And if he go into captivity, by the hands of those that seek his life will they sleep will be left to him on all the earth, for into eternal malediction will he depart. And thus it is written and engraved concerning him on the heavenly tables, to do unto him on the day of judgment, so that he may be rooted out from the earth. Rebekah admonishes Jacob not to marry a Canaanitish woman. Rebekah's blessing. And in the 2nd year of this week in this Jubilee, Rebekah called Jacob her son, and spake unto him, saying, My son, do not take thee a wife of the daughters of Canaan, as Esau thy brother, who took him 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan. And they have embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds. For all their deeds are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness with them, for their deeds are evil. And I, my son, love thee exceedingly, and my heart and my affection bless thee every hour of the day and watch of the night. And now, my son, hearken to my voice, and do the will of thy mother, and do not take thee a wife of the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father, and of my father's kindred. Thou wilt take thee a wife of the house of my father, and the Most High God will bless thee, and thy children will be a righteous generation, and a holy seed. And then spake Jacob to Rebekah his mother, and said unto her, Behold, mother, I am 9 weeks of years old, and I neither know nor have I touched any woman, nor have I betrothed myself to any, nor even think of taking me a wife of the daughters of Canaan. For I remember, mother, the words of Abraham our father, for he commanded me not to take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, but to take me a wife from the seed of my father's house and from my kindred. I have heard before that daughters have been born to Laban thy brother, and I have set my heart on them, to take a wife from amongst them. And for this reason I have guarded myself in my spirit against sinning, or being corrupted in all my ways throughout all the days of my life. For with regard to lust and fornication, Abraham my father gave me many commands. And despite all that he hath commanded me, these 22 years my brother hath striven with me, and spoken frequently to me, and said, My brother, take to wife a sister of my 2 wives. But I refuse to do as he hath done. I swear before thee, mother, that all the days of my life I will not take me a wife from the daughters of the seed of Canaan, and I will not act wickedly, as my brother hath done. Fear not, mother. Be assured that I shall do thy will, and walk in uprightness, and not corrupt my ways forever. And thereupon she lifted up her face to heaven, and extended the fingers of her hands, and opened her mouth, and blessed the Most High God, who had created the heaven and the earth. And she gave him thanks and praise. And she said, Blessed be the Lord God, and may his holy name be blessed forever and ever, who hath given me Jacob as a pure son and a holy seed. For he is thine, and thine shall his seed be continually, and throughout all the generations forevermore. Bless him, O Lord, and place in my mouth the blessing of righteousness, that I may bless him. And at that hour, when the spirit of righteousness descended into her mouth, she placed both her hands on the head of Jacob, and said, Blessed art thou, Lord of righteousness and God of the ages. And may he bless thee beyond all the generations of men. May he give thee, my son, the path of righteousness, and reveal righteousness to thy seed. And may he make thy sons many during thy life, and may they arise according to the number of the months of the year. And may their sons become many and great beyond the stars of heaven, and their numbers be more than the sand of the sea. And may he give them this goodly land, as he said he would give it to Abraham and to his seed after him always. And may they hold it as a possession forever. And may I see born unto thee, my son, blessed children during my life, and a blessed and a holy seed may all thy seed be. And as thou hast refreshed thy mother's spirit during my life, the womb of her that bare thee blesseth thee, and my breasts bless thee, and my mouth and my tongue praise thee greatly. Increase and spread over the earth, and may thy seed be perfect in the joy of heaven and earth forever. And may thy seed rejoice, and on the great day of peace may it have peace. And may thy name and thy seed endure to all the ages. And may the Most High God be their God. And may the God of righteousness dwell with them, and by them may his sanctuary be built unto all the ages. Blessed be he that blesseth thee, and all flesh that curseth thee falsely, may it be cursed. And she kissed him and said to him, May the Lord of the world love thee as the heart of thy mother, and her affection rejoice in thee and bless thee. And she ceased from blessing.
And that was the end of it. We have our part 4 that will be coming right there at the end. We will be doing our part 4 or part 2 of the book of Jashper. Okay. Now let me talk with y'all. Since I'm over here on this channel, I can freely talk with y'all and stuff, which I'm probably gonna eventually tell the entails. But right now, I'm not gonna tell them right now because I don't know where they mind at right now. You know what I'm saying? Then again, you know me, hey Pooh, I just may tell them. I just may tell them. Pretty chocolate girl, there you go. Drop down again. Hold on, I don't know why I took that off. Hold on, let me mind her up. You pregnant? No, but I'm finna get pregnant though. Hold on. Okay, I got it. So am I blue? Hell no, you not blue. The hell? Why would I give you a blue? Remember, I got a plate in my head, Spam. Don't forget me, I love that color. No, I am not pregnant, but me and Mr. Intel is fin to start on this boy very soon. You know, he's doing the necessary things that he needs so that we can get this boy out the way. Trini, I'm gonna get you later, boo. I'm gonna get you later. But no, what I'm telling y'all is I am fin to move. I've been telling Bree this for months, okay? So she already knew what I was about to do anyways, but I guess I could tell y'all over on the spaceship as well. Exactly what I'm gonna be doing. I'm finna move my commentary, my content actually. I'm gonna be moving my why are you ignoring me? My bad, I'm not ignoring you, boo. You the one who said I had a plate in my motherfucking head. So hell, Spam, don't have me cussing now. You know that ain't what we do over here. You got me doing too much. So let me tell y'all. Yes. I've been wanting to do different content on the spaceship. I've been wanting to take my commentary elsewhere and do things different. Because so you confirm you is an alien disguised as a human. Of course, Spam. Of course. And you know I'm not no human. I'm a true alien around here. Okay? I am not a human being. I am an alien. So you mean where we moving to? We're gonna be moving to a lot of places. I'm about to go over there with Kiki, my Kiki. I'm about to go over there with Villanova because Villanova has shouted me out over there in the sector that she in. She also told them to come on over to the spaceship and stuff like that. If people that is against her, and which I was actually shocked about, but she was like, for those of y'all that don't fuck with me and y'all want to get an interview, go on over to the spaceship and interview with the spaceship and let's see how that goes. So I definitely appreciate her and Kiki both promoting me over there in they sectors that they have. And I believe they doing that because they see the potential in the bitch and they want me to come over there and stuff. So I'm going to stick my feet in over there. I'm going to go have me a little fun over there. I'm going to go build over there. Not only I'm going to do it over there, I'm going to talk about other type of topics. What's going on in the real world. I'm going to be talking about celebrities. I'm going to be in their business. We're going to go different. We're going to go further. I know I said I don't do social media like that, but I noticed that a lot of them deal with Twitter or Instagram, how they able to get a lot of them people over there to their channels and stuff. So I may end up making us a Twitter or Instagram, and that's for the intels. Maybe I need to go live on my main channel and have this discussion with the intels. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing who my real supporter is. I know that a lot of y'all are my real supporters. I will say that because a lot of y'all B sector over there, but I'm not in B sector right now. I'm over here in the conspiracy side of space. But I definitely think I need to have this conversation with the intels. So I'm going to just go live. Yes, Miss Jean. Hey, D-Dot. I can hear you. I'm going to go live on my spaceship channel, and we're going to talk about it over there instead of over here. Because over here, I already do shit different over here. But I do want to push myself further than beef. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I am tired of the beefing, especially since I'm trying to like get a baby and stuff. And to be honest, at this point, I don't really care if it's a girl or a boy, but I do care if it's a boy. I ain't gonna lie, I do care if it's a boy. I do care if it's a boy. So I'm scheduling it live right now. I ain't got long because we go live at 1. We go live at 1:30. So you say, I'm here, I like your spirit. You know I'm gonna be there with you two cousins. Boys are special. I'm tired of hearing the beefing too. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm gonna have to stop the beefing, especially if I'm trying to like, hey heat wave, if I'm trying to like, have my energy be protected and make sure that when I'm pregnant, me and my baby energy is protected and I'm not trying to go back and forth with any of these people pertaining to it. It's been a few months though I have been thinking about it. I have scheduled my live, so I'm going to be back. I'm going to see y'all over on the spaceship, and we're going to go live over there on the spaceship so that I can talk to the intels about how things is finna move pertaining to me. I feel like I owe y'all that. Instead of me just like I'm a slow roll it now. I'm not leaving B sector or none of that shit. I'm slow rolling into other content. You know what I'm saying? Giving y'all something different of me besides the beef. I've been beefing for 4 fucking years. I've been running shit for 4 fucking years. And it's time for me to step out of my comfort zone and try some new shit and build my platform up on some new shit. I'm probably going to go over there to the mommy sector with just Mommy Christy and Peach and the rest of them and be in their business. I do want to find another sector. I did find another sector, but it's a weird sector, so I'm not sure. And I'll really, really mess some things up over there in the trans community sector. But I'm going to talk to y'all on the spaceship. I'm going to see y'all on the spaceship. Bye.